Hello and welcome to my channel. This will be the first video among series of other videos which is all about mental health and striving to be the best version of ourselves, especially during difficult moments of our lives. From avoiding toxic relationships to handling the loss of loved ones. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram. You can share your stories too and watch new videos each week. Together, we will be sharing real life stories and propose solutions as well as implementing methods to get out of the darkness of doubt to the light of hope. There is an incredible amount of fear, despair, and uncertainty all around the world as this pandemic rapidly sweeping across the globe. With the numbers of cases going up each day, our anxiety and stress level goes up as well. We feel that our livelihood and daily activities are affected and also threatened. With almost 3 billion people around the world are in some kind of lockdown. Many are working from home and taking care of their children at the same time, where most of social gatherings and events cancelled. Some countries are ready to reopen, just like New Zealand. Others are worried about a second wave that could lead to a disaster. We got so overwhelmed with all sorts of conspiracy theories, from Bill Gates' prediction of the pandemic to the spread of the virus because of 5G technology. For that reason, we are expecting a rise in depression, self harm, and suicidal behaviors because we know that panicking alone leads people to make wrong decisions. Each one of us facing our own set of stressors. Some of us lost their jobs already, others still working but might face income reduction. Others are paranoid about the idea of being carriers of this virus. Healthcare and frontline workers who risk their lives to save ours, they keep hearing tears, prayers from the sick people and from their families every single day. The coronavirus outbreak changed our life in so many ways. We get set of measures from experts to flatten the curve and slow down the spread of the virus. We often hear clear messages and guidelines about the development of the situation, but in other cases, we have an absence of leadership bringing up more misinformation and confusion. Number one, social isolation. The impact of the quarantine can make people feel clueless, having no control over the situation, especially when you can't go back to your normal life. According to the American Psychological Association, the feeling of being cut off from the rest of the world can affect your sleeping patterns, your immunity, and poor cardiovascular health. You start finding it difficult to concentrate, control your emotions or memory, and psychological stress and disorder. Conscientiousness, extraversion, agreeableness, neuroticism, and openness to experience. These are the five personality traits. These personality traits are the contributing factors on how we react to situations, and it affects our daily activities from mindfulness to well being. Recent studies from Brazil showed that extroverts are less likely to engage in social distancing, especially the first few weeks, as they have higher need to socializing and engaging in group events. On the other hand, people with a higher score of conscientiousness are easily adaptive to social distancing guidelines. Other studies from Denmark showed that Individuals with high level of emotionality are more likely to follow the guidelines. However, people who are more vulnerable to depression and anxiety, such as individuals with a higher neuroticism, are more likely to show signs of PTSD, especially during the lockdown. Apart from personality differences, we have on number three the long term effects. A professor at the Boston University School of Public Health named Sandro Galea stated that it is expected to see waves of mental disorders because of this outbreak. He mentioned that in September 2008, 5% of people affected by Hurricane Ike developed depressive disorders few weeks after the disaster. 25% of New Yorkers stated that they consumed more alcohol than ever before after the 9/11 attacks. An increase of PTSD and psychological distress after the severe acute respiratory syndrome epidemic, also known as SARS, which is of zoonotic origins that caused the 2002 outbreak, which affected both the patients as well as the healthcare workers. Here are three ways on how to deal with this pandemic. It is essential to maintain a healthy lifestyle, which include proper sleep, home workouts from fitness apps, online workouts, and exercise videos. Which, by the way, I left a list of apps and videos coaching you on dieting, exercising at the description. You should acknowledge that it's perfectly fine to feel stressed out and confused sometimes, which is part of being human. It is very important to stay away of drugs and alcohol by all means. Instead, talk to an expert who can help you out control your emotions. Stay informed about precautions and guidelines from reliable sources, just like WHO or the Public Health Authority in your country. It is also advisable not to read so much information that can get you in a negative state or negative mood. Just create a schedule on a daily basis at home, just like you used to do in normal days. Be creative. Keep in touch with your family, friends, and loved ones. Ask about them. Exchange deep thoughts and create positive vibes together. Yes, we said how our personality traits can affect our behavior and reactions to different situations, but that doesn't mean you're not able to overcome these situations with little modifications and adaptations. An extrovert might find it hard to stay lonely and isolated as they have high needs for social interactions, but this is not always the case. So there are methods and tactics that will help create a sense of community for these outgoing personalities, such as creating online communities to keep connecting with people and also making new connections. Play with your kids and entertain them. Get to know them better, and these moments are the best opportunity to do so. Connect with your partner and bring back sweet memories. And if you are alone away from home, you can use FaceTime or other social networks every time you want. Exchanging deep feelings and thoughts can preserve your mental health. And finally, rise to the occasion. Remember that we are all in this together, and throughout history, difficult moments from civil wars to disasters brought the best of us. If there is anything we can learn from history, is that we don't just survive, but we thrive. Warren Buffett, one of the top 5 richest people on earth, once said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." What does that even mean? To understand this quote, let us go back in time where two of the greatest minds in history been through a similar situation where they were both isolated for quite some time. During the 17th century, William Shakespeare, who was an actor as well as a shareholder with the Kingsman theatre troupe where the bubonic plague forced all theatres in London to close. That will eventually affect the industry and will find himself without a job. But here's the key: he had freer time, more time, where he composed Antony Cleopatra and King Lear, one of his most beautiful plays, ahead of time. Few years after William Shakespeare isolated himself and produced beautiful plays, Isaac Newton had to stay away from the disease back in 1665. Few classes at the Cambridge University were cancelled, therefore he kept himself busy and away from anybody else. No Wi Fi or any advanced technology that would keep him entertained. This genius mathematician wrote and developed his theories on calculus and optics from his family's estate, which was also the time he developed his theory of gravity. Back to Warren Buffett's quote: "It is known that during hardships, with alarming news headlines, we keep hearing unemployment and some business going bankrupt. The famous American investor kept saying that he hopes to see a lot of more recessions because one thing he learned from years of experience is that even though the market might crush, and which is a normal cycle, it will always boom again, and you need to be ready for that moment. But how? How can I profit from these hard moments? Well, start saving instead of wasting money on things you don't really need. Avoid debts and learn new skills. Skills that will change your life in so many levels. There are hundreds of online courses, and some of them are for free, where you can learn about techniques and futuristic skills that will eventually be on demand for the next 5 to 10 years, like e-commerce and artificial intelligence. Learn about stock market, even if it's crashing at the moment. Be sure that the market always bounce back. That's why you need to be ready for that day, which by the way, I shared with you below at the description some links that can help you learn more. Create your own online channels to share your ideas or maybe promote your products and services. You can simply make podcasts and discuss topics you are passionate about. The key is you have more time now, more time for your family, more time for loved ones, and more time for yourself. So stop panicking and start investing in yourself. Focus on becoming a better person than you were before hearing the word COVID. And remember that chaotic moments happen, but they go on. So you should move on too and become a new person with new abilities to defy all challenges in life. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it. It will really make my day. Comment below because I appreciate all your feedbacks. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and to receive new videos on our mental health and how to handle them.